everyone. Hello.
Hello.
It's me, Kristina, and this is Amy. We're in a hotel in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Is it your first time in Iowa?
You know, it's my first time, being in Iowa for a few days and doing stuff, but I've driven cross country several times and driven through Iowa. But I don't think I ever spent even the night in a hotel, but you know what I mean? Like, I've been through Iowa, but not to Iowa.
So it's our first time spending this much time in Iowa, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And
yours.
What?
And yours.
And yours, our first time. We've just been roommates for the last few days. We're here at a performance conference. Just met each other. She's premiering a new work next year at PS 122, and I'm premiering my show next month in Berkeley. So she's going to be a good sport and pretend to crochet while I crochet.
I'm inventing my own.
She's inventing her own loop method.
Look what I've done so far, though. It's pretty good.
I think what's kind of cool is she's working on a piece about neuroscience. Mine, of course, is on mental illness. And I said, want to do this video blog thing with me? We'll talk about what's going on in Iowa. And she said, yeah. She said, totally. So she's been a really good sport and a great roommate. And I'm going to miss her when she goes on to Salt Lake City and I go back to LA.
But we'll be close to each other, yeah?
Yeah.
It's all about the West.
In the mind.
Yes.
So let's talk about Iowa.
Yeah.
What have we seen so far?
We've seen a lot of different weather.
Mm-hmm.
It's been kind of sunny and spring-like and nice, and it's been really cold and snowy and rainy. I've seen some pretty good wallpaper.
What have I seen so far that's worth remarking?
Iowan drag queens.
I didn't get to see that.
At the Dragon Club.
I was too tired to go check that out. There was apparently a drag show. It's pretty crazy because all the restaurants here, I think we've literally tripled the economy here because if we need to eat, we actually have to sign up at a table down the stairs ahead of time so that the conference can make reservations for us, or else, because restaurants just close early. And you went to the Vietnamese place, right, yesterday?
I went last night,
I went the day before. That was cool to see these Vietnamese people who somehow ended up in Iowa.
We were their biggest business, I think, ever. There was one guy just going nuts. He was really good, though, and he was really friendly, and
oh, yeah, totally.
He was fun.
I know. He was so excited. You could see just where did these people come from? Why are they in Cedar Rapids? So very glad that I grew up where I did, and I am where I am, and I'll just leave it at that. Happy about that.
And where did you grow up? Did you grow up in LA?
I grew up in San Francisco.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, and it was hard enough being Asian in San Francisco. I can't imagine being the only Asian person in Iowa.
Hard being Asian in San Francisco? What do you mean by that?
It's just hard.
Everyone's Asian there.
I know, but it's just, the politics of living. It's very, maybe it's just being a teenager and I somehow blamed all my issues on race later in college in my first whatever class. But, yeah.
Let's talk about, I don't know, Asian things. I lived in China.
Yeah, she lived in China. I've never been to China, actually. My mom went for the first time this year.
It was really cool to go, that stigma that, all the Caucasians say they can't tell Asians apart. And it was true when I got over there, but after living there, I could totally see the difference in faces and shape, and, it was just interesting, all the details.
Give this woman brownie points. No, I still can't tell myself.
Really? I could be like, no, that's but people were helping teach me. They were kind of
What did you have to tell apart?
Well, there's different kinds of eyes, the folds or the shapes, and they'd be like, oh, this is a Mongolian fold, or the eyes are like this, or and I learned things that they said, look at some Asian, I mean my friends in China, some of which who were Chinese and some of which who were white or expats living in China, so it was kind of mixed, but where this was coming from. But they were like, this one girl who was Taiwanese actually was saying, look at some Asian faces and you'll see that some of them have like, it's so flat here, like the bridge on the nose, and she was like, it's really hard to wear glasses. And so contacts were huge. Like a huge advance, like it's a great thing. You know, I just never thought about face structure like that. And then I would be on the subway and be like, yeah. Who would have thunk? There are just things you notice that you never noticed before. Like how gigantic my nose is, you know. That became really prominent for me. And I would catch my reflection and I would forget that I was white. I would only see Asian faces all day, every day. And then I would not scare myself, but just kind of be like, oh my God, I'm not Asian. I'm not like everybody else. I don't know. So tell me about growing up in San Francisco.
Well, I grew up, raised a lot by my grandparents. One of my folks had they had an office job.
And were your grandparents born in the States?
No, they came over relatively young, I think. Like my grandfather was, I think, like 20 years old when he came over from China. And then my grandfather on my mom's side, I think, came over pretty young too, but went back and forth. I don't quite get what happened there, but he passed away before I was born. And I just hate it when I feel like I'm messing up my crochet.
Just watch me.
She's doing a good job of faking it.
It's turning into like cat's cradle / crochet. I think it's just gonna. Can you just knit with your fingers? That would be cool. What's that?
I've seen people do it with their arms. They've knit like gigantic pieces, and they like do this whole thing where they just take giant T-shirt strips, and they do it. I'm just gonna check our time real fast to see if we need to start a new file. Okay, we're good for another 2.5 minutes. I dropped me. I'm so sorry. We're so boring today. We're not boring. We're compelling. We're talking about cross-cultural issues.
Yeah. The cross-culturality of living in San Francisco, your grandparents.
Yeah.
So, did you grow up on like, Chinese home cooking? Is there a certain style that you know what I mean? Any of that?
My grandma cooked it more, and we would go to we ate a lot of Chinese restaurants. My mom,
they order crazy stuff.
No, just whatever's on those menus. Just food. It wasn't like bat wings or anything. Not.
Yeah.
I'm exaggerating, but it wasn't like.
Yeah. I had a hard time in China just because they think pork is a vegetable.
Are you vegetarian?
Well, I'm a fishitarian. I eat fish, but no meat. And so they'd be like, here are your vegetable dumplings, pork. Yeah. Or like, here's your tofu dish, swimming in intestines. And I'd be like,
yeah, that's so hard to explain to people in Chinatown.
I had to learn to just tell people I was a Buddhist. Yeah. That was easier than like trying to say you're one who eats vegetables.
Wow, that's interesting.
But fish. But the food was great. I mean, I had some of the most amazing meals I've ever had in my life there.
For like 2 cents too.
Oh my God! What became my comfort food? Like when you're like drunk and hanging out at night, and it's 5 in the morning, you're like hot bowls of noodles and tea.
Wow.
And then when I came back, I missed that. Like I wanted a hot bowl of noodles with just everything good in it. And
that sounds good.
I kind of missed that.
The food here is so crappy. I can't wait to go back to LA.
It kind of is really crappy.
I'm going to start a new video.